Hello there and welcome to this week's edition of Women in the Fore right here on Times TV with me, Wezi Kasambala. This week I have the honor of being joined in the studios by renowned gospel singer and in fact pastor, Enesia Chitheka Louis. You know her, of course, because of her gospel music. She's certainly no stranger to the media. She's a face we've come to accept as a household name, and she's made a name for herself for the work that she does when we think about spiritual life. And that is why we've asked her to join us today to tell us her story. All right, so thank you for joining us on the program. As I was saying in the introduction, you have such a fantastic background behind you. We know you as a pastor and a very successful gospel singer. But I want to understand your childhood, first of all. What was it like growing up as a little girl? Where did you grow up? And what was life like as a young Enesia?
Okay, thank you so much. I think it's very important for people to know, because otherwise when people see you the way you are now, they think everything was good.
That's right.
So I think it's good for me to tell people how I grew up as a little Enesia.
Your beginnings.
Yes, little Enesia was born in Zimbabwe, but I grew up here in Malawi. My father as a bishop, as a pastor.
Right.
And we were living in Ndilande. Then at the little age, when I was just standard 3, that's when we go to Machinjiri. So I can say much of Machinjiri than Ndilande because I was very young.
Yes. So you grew up in Machinjiri, mainly?
Yes, in Machinjiri. At that time, I can say Machinjiri was like, it is far away from town.
Yes.
No.
So would you say it was very rural still? Rural in those days?
Because by 3 o'clock we could hear hyenas passing through.
You're joking.
Our homes.
Wow.
Yes.
So it wasn't developed. There was no
no,
development.
it was not. Many people, when the government say some people should go to Machinjiri from Diland, many people they went to other areas. They didn't go to Machinjiri. So only few of us went to Machinjiri.
I see.
So it was undeveloped and full of bush,
wow.
something like that. So I grew up in such environment that, in a rural
setting.
Yes, that's how I grew up. And as my father as a pastor, in those days, it's different from now.
Really?
Because now, people, you can think of your pastor that he needs to eat, he needs to do.
Yes.
But in those days, a pastor must help
others.
Members.
So he was not receiving any gifts or anything like that?
Nothing. So we were really starving. We were really in that poverty that I can tell you that if I tested shoes, it's when I was in standard 8.
You're joking?
Sure.
So you had no shoes throughout primary school?
No shoes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was that like when you thought about going to school? Because as a little girl, some might think that would have sort of made you think, what's the point of going to school? I don't have shoes. But did you ever feel discouraged that maybe there was no point to finishing even
I can
school?
say because of the poverty that was in the nation.
Yeah.
Because that time there was poverty.
Yes.
Because I remember even the teachers.
What year was that, if I may ask you? Without giving away your age.
That was maybe the 70s.
The 70s, yes.
Yes, in the 70s. Yeah, that time poverty was real.
Really? Very real.
Real. Because even our teachers, you could really have beat on the teachers.
No.
They had no clothes, no what. The poverty was real.
Wow.
So there was nothing that I can feel ashamed of.
Yes.
It was everyone.
Everyone was in the same shoes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sure.
And tell me about your family. So how many brothers, sisters did you have? And tell me about your parents.
Yeah, in our family, my mother is from Zimbabwe.
Okay.
And in our family, we are 7 children. Yeah, 2 boys and 5 girls.
Wow.
Yeah, so the firstborn is Gresham, who is now, my father sent him to Bible school in Canada, Canadian Christ for the Nations. So
lots of girls in the family.
Yeah, lots of girls.
What was that like growing up in a household with so many girls? It must have been fun and exciting.
Very fun and exciting because I think girls.
Yes, and you support each other.
That's it. That's it. That's how we were living. And for us to bring up the Chitheka's family together, it's because we could do things together. Most of the time, because of the poverty that we're living in, it was not easy to go and play with other people.
Yes.
Because otherwise we were like we cannot fit in.
Really?
So we were.
So you felt like outsiders,
yeah,
like outcasts.
Yes, so we could just be alone. And
that's interesting. Do you think that maybe that's why even today, I mean, you're renowned for your group, the Chitheka family. Is that where you got that family spirit from?
That's it. From
the bond that you had to sort of share with your brothers and sisters when you were younger.
Yes, because we were not able to go to play. Because first, I can give you an example. Like on Christmas Day, you know, most of the families in those days, you know, to drink Fanta or to eat meat and rice. It was something on Christmas. Yes. You know. But at our home, there was nothing like that.
Wow.
So we could not go anywhere. My mother and my father could just bring us in and we just be indoor.
Wow.
So the only thing we could do is to sing, you know. That's how God developed this thing of singing.
Do you think that's where your spirituality comes from?
That's it.
The fact that that's what you had to hold on to as a young girl.
That's it.
There was no material things.
No.
No fancy clothes. Nothing like that.
One day somebody was asking me, Mama, sometimes when we see you on the DVD, you don't really dance. So this is my answer, that I've never gone to a dance. Or watched some dancing until we grew up. We grew up like that. Our father was just keeping us indoor, and we were learning the word of God. What made us to enjoy much singing and listening to the word of God.
Wow.
That's what made our world at that time. Yeah.
So that gave you a lot of grounding, didn't it? That spiritual grounding. Also having a father who you said was a pastor. So you've always had a spiritual background.
That's it.
In your family.
That's it.
I don't think you know any different.
No, because even I can tell you that I started seeing a hospital when I went to have my baby. We could not get sick.
Really?
Because our father, when somebody is sick, our father would come and say, somebody has done something here. Let's repent. And when we repent, the sickness will just go.
So you never went to hospital?
No, I started getting sick when I was 45.
You're joking.
True.
Wow. So do you still believe that even today?
Yes.
Do you believe in that?
When you live according to God's ways, He really protects you. Because up to now, I wonder how we lived all those days without malaria. I didn't even know malaria. What? I don't even understand how it happened. It was a miracle. Yeah.
So, and then tell me about school. What was school like? And also growing up as a little girl, because I'm sure when you look at life then for girls and life now, it's really changed.
It has changed.
Girls are more empowered today
than those days.
What was that like being a woman in those days?
I can testify to you. I have a child from school.
Yes.
Because of that problem.
Right. So you had a baby when you were still in school?
Yes.
How old were you?
Well, I was only 16.
Wow. But in those days, that was almost normal. Even getting married when you were that age was normal.
But still, I regret because I could do more if I could not do
you didn't have the
baby. Yes, because in those days we could not be empowered. I remember the only thing we could do it was chinamwari, and you'll be taught about marriage, sexual life. So this is what was coming to our minds every time you just think of getting married. This is your destiny, something like that. So this is how the environment I grew up in.
I like what you've said there, Enesia. You talked about how there was a lot of focus and emphasis on marriage and also sexual satisfaction, particularly for the men. I think that's very true. Do you? And I think even today, I think as women are still experiencing that. Do you still agree that perhaps girls are being taught the wrong things, maybe, and maybe the focus should be on not just that, but other areas as well?
I think when I'm
a balance of both, perhaps.
Yes, when if I've got an advantage of going in the villages and teach women, and teach the church, this is what I talk much, because most of our girls, because of those teachings, it comes first in their minds.
That's all they think about.
That's all they think about: getting married and getting children. This is what they think, but they need to be taught the future, their destiny. They can do something more than getting married.
Yes.
And to me, I say getting married is a natural thing, even if you are not taught.
Yes.
You can do it.
Yeah.
But the other things you
need
really
to go
need
to
to,
school.
go to school. So we spend much of our time teaching children, teaching our girls of this, which is making them to focus much on getting married than going forward with their school.
So so what happened to you? So after you had your baby, did you stop school, or did you have to pause and then did you go back? What happened?
It was not easy for me.
I can imagine.
It was not easy for me because even my parents were very much disappointed.
And they were angry.
Very angry with me.
Especially coming from also a spiritual household. I can imagine. Gosh, so how did you deal with that?
You know, after some time, because there was those schools, I can't remember what we called them, but you could just go in the afternoon and come back. I just started doing that slowly but sure. That's what I did at last.
And meanwhile, you were raising a little one. Raising a baby.
I tell you, raising a baby, I have to find soap, what for my baby, and go to school again.
Wow.
This is what I was doing.
That must have been very difficult.
Oh,
because like you said, you were already in a very, you already had very economically challenged environment. So then to add another mouth as well, that must have been hard. Do you think, Enesia, that those experiences have really made you the woman that you are today?
Yes, because I have a message. You know, your mess is your message.
Your message, I like that. That's interesting.
Yes. What I've gone through, it's a real message. I would not love many people to go through the same corridor. That's what is in me. When I meet anyone, any girl, any woman, any family, I would love to talk about it, that you don't need your children to go through what I went through. And because right now I can see the mistakes.
Yes.
I can see where I could not really focus on what I was to focus on.
Well, you could have done better.
Yes. And number two, if I could have other women who could come to me and help me and talk to me, just talk to me and show me the world. I think I would think better than the way I was thinking in that time. Because that time, to me, marriage was the most important thing in a woman. That's it.
But that being said, well, if you've just joined us, you're watching this week's edition of Women in the Fore. I'm Wezi Kasambala, and today I'm talking to Enesia Chitheka Louis, a renowned big star. She's a gospel singer and she's also a pastor. Before, she was telling us about her childhood and how she grew up and all her experiences. But we'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back. You're watching Women in the Fore with me, Wezi Kasambala, and today I'm talking to Enesia Chitheka Louis, who before we went to break was telling us about her upbringing. But now we want to understand how she got into gospel music, how she got the calling to become a pastor, and what it is that motivates her in her professional capacity. I like what you're saying about how you wanted to have someone, a woman, a female who you could look up to.
Who can challenge me, yes.
So is it safe to say that in those days you didn't really have female role models?
No.
Really?
No. Most of them, they could just talk about marriage.
So tell me, you talked about marriage. Did you end up marrying the father of your first baby?
No, you know, at school.
Yes, he was just a boyfriend.
And not even a boyfriend. He wanted just to mess me up.
And that was it.
Because he was gone. You know, for you to know that he wanted to mess me up after the pregnancy, he never wanted to see me anymore.
No. And this is something, I mean, this is not unique to your time, your period. Even today, these things are happening
it's like
to
that.
girls.
Yeah. Even this day, it's like that. Let me speak to girls who are listening to me. Focus on your future. Don't allow your now to disturb you. Because time expires, condition expires.
Yes.
There's something good in future.
That's true.
Than what you are seeing now. So focus on your future than looking at what is happening now. You cannot change your now at this age, as a girl.
Yes.
You change your now as you focus on tomorrow.
On tomorrow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's talk about now singing. Because obviously you're a singer. And I'm interested to know at what point during your youth you discovered this passion that you have for singing.
Yes. I think, sometimes when things are happening in the dark world, you don't really know. I didn't even know.
That you had a talent and a gift.
No. But my father and my mother, they could talk about it when I started singing now. In 2001, I'm already grown up. That's when my father and my mother started
so this was
singing.
2001?
Yeah.
So much later?
When I think for people to know me, it's 2001. But in the past, when I'm doing anything, I could sing.
Okay.
Whether I'm washing plates, whether I'm doing it, I have to sing. And most of the time I could follow. I like this girl of South African girl. We call him
a gospel singer.
No, it's not
Brenda Fassie.
Brenda Fassie.
Yes.
I could sing the Lord.
The late
He's
Brenda
my
Fassie.
shepherd.
I hope you're going to sing for me a little bit before we go. Before you're going to have to sing at least one note. Yes. I shall not want. I love that one.
That was the song I could sing. I could follow her the way she was singing.
Yes. And she was so captivating, wasn't she?
I tell you. So this is how my parents said, we knew something is special with you, because every time you would sing something.
Do you think, before we quickly go to break, do you think that maybe it was your experiences, what you were going through, some of the challenges in life that made you perhaps in those dark moments just think of singing? Do you think maybe that's where that came from? Singing made you happy?
Yes, singing made the whole family.
So without
happy.
Right.
When we are singing, somebody
and
sings,
you forget about your problems.
We forget about everything, and we do. We didn't have even a radio. That time, when we talk about TV, forget about it.
Yes.
It's only MBC One.
Radio One. That was it.
That's
top tunes and things like that. All right, Enesia, we're going to have to take a short break. We're having so much fun talking to you, but we really have to take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk about now you as a pastor as well. If you're just joining us, you're watching this week's edition of Women in the Fore, and I'm having a lovely conversation with Enesia Chitheka Louis, who is a renowned gospel singer, but also a pastor. You probably know her because of the Chitheka family, which is a big gospel group. And she was telling us about her past, such a fascinating past. But we'll be right back after this break. Okay, so we will now talk about how you got it to be a pastor, etc., etc. Should I look this side or should I just come to you? All right, so Enesia, before we went to break, we talked about your childhood, and you told me very candidly about how you grew up in a very poor family, very poor background, but despite that, as a family, you stuck together. You were very glued together.
That's it.
And you supported each other. And that's where I think you got your love of singing as well.
Yeah.
The whole family enjoyed singing, you said.
Yes.
So how did you now progress your career? Before we go into you becoming a pastor, how did you now develop your gift for singing? Tell me about that.
What was happening as children of a pastor
in
the church, most of the time, I don't know in other churches, but what I know, most of the children of pastor, before they become pastors, they are always praise team.
Right.
And in those days, there was no praise team, but choir.
Right, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I could compose songs and sing in the church. As a choir.
Yes.
That's what I was doing. But I didn't know, because no radio, remember?
Yes.
There's no radio.
That must have been, so how did you discover your love of Brenda Fassie then? Was that later on?
You just hear it from other
houses. Oh, right, I see. Okay. Not in your house.
And most of the time, when in the Christmas time, they could put music and you could hear different music.
Yes,
that's
from all over the world.
Yeah, that was it. So I didn't have even a picture of being an artist or a musician.
Yes.
But I was able to write a song at my young age.
Wow.
So writing songs, and we sing as a choir in our house, in the church, as a praise team, like the way praise team is doing. I could lead at a young age.
Yes.
That's what I was doing. So In the 90s, there was a time when, after I come back from the college, because I graduated from the pastoring college in 1996.
Wow.
That's when I graduated. So when I came as a pastor, a woman pastor now, I started asking God, Lord, I think I need something I can do to feed my children.
And were there many female pastors in those days?
No.
Really?
No, it was not easy to be a female pastor.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it was not easy, but when God calls you, what can you do? Yes.
So you wanted something to feed your children?
So I said, Lord, give me something I can do and feed my children, because I was doing, mandasti.
How many babies did you have at that point?
At that time, I had 4.
4 kids.
4 kids.
Yes. And you were single? Or
were you married? No, I was remarried.
Remarried, okay.
Yes, because the other husband, in those days, men could go to South Africa.
And disappear.
When they go to South Africa, they disappear.
So he disappeared on you?
That's what happened.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So you haven't had the best experience with men. The first one, you said, didn't just accept the baby.
He didn't.
The next one went to South Africa.
And he disappeared.
And this is, again, very real. This happens even today.
Yeah,
These situations
this
are
is
happening.
what is happening. Yeah, so when we had a
you were saying that this is when you wanted to find something to help feed your babies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You were doing mandasi.
Yes, I was doing mandasi. I was doing. My mother is a Zimbabwean. We know how to knit.
Yes.
We can do with our hands. We can do much things. But still, I was saying that I'm not able to take care of my children and my family. And I asked God that if I continue with mandasi, with the preaching, my chest will be full of fire. I asked God, give me something I can do that will not disturb my work.
Yes.
Then the Lord said to me, I will use what you have.
Yeah.
What I have. What do I have?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that it's a gift.
Yes, absolutely.
Until when God pointed out. I remember it was in 2000 when the Lord pointed out, I will use what we have. The moment he said like that, when I sang that song, Sieni Mulungu, and the one, Nditakakamira, from my first album, when I just sang it, people would just come, can you tape it for us? Because I didn't even know a studio.
Yes. Wow.
No experience.
But you were able to compose music.
Yes. Nditakakamira. Even the first song I composed is Odaramund. That was my first song.
Wow. Even though you had no access to studios or TV or radio.
But I wrote that song. And this is how people are coming. Oh, tape for us. We'll give you a radio and you sing for us that song. So I was saying, how can I sing for everybody's radio?
Yeah.
Is there no any other way?
I know, I can imagine. It must have been exhausting.
And thank God one day when we were singing, another man, the Chilon security, the owner, the founder, he came to our church and said, no. We need those songs in a CD, in a cassette.
Right.
You need to go to the studio. I'll pay everything.
Wow.
He's the one who paid everything. And somebody made us to meet Joseph Tembo. And he recorded us. That was it. That's how we started.
And you became a star.
Yes.
And then how did you now get, because now you also have your family, your kids also got involved in music as well. How did that happen?
I don't know how God does it. But it seems like when you have got a gift, it goes automatically to your children.
Right.
You don't even push them. They are already there.
Yes.
That's what happens.
Because your daughter's got a beautiful voice. You've got sons who are also very good with instruments. So there's a lot of talent in the family, musical talent.
So much. Sometimes I am amazed when I see it. But it's God. It's God doings. I can say it.
Wow.
I did something. No.
And then becoming a pastor. Tell me about that now, because you also do that, don't you?
Yeah, that is the first thing I did. My father, he's the one. I didn't even know that I can be a pastor. I was even refusing because I didn't want the way my father was living. As I've told you,
in poverty.
I could not be interested to be a pastor, so that my children who pass through what I've passed through.
I can understand.
I didn't have
You wanted something better for you kids.
Yes, but my parents forced me you have to go to school.
Wow.
You have to go. There is a gift of a pastor in you. You have to go to school. So you leave the children and go to the college. So
wow.
then they send me to the college. And I went there. When I come back, that's when I felt really God called me to be a pastor.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So how do you strike a balance? That must mean you're very busy because you've got your musical career, your gospel career, but also being a pastor. And then you're a mom as well. How do you balance all that? And what are the...
It takes the grace.
Yeah.
It takes the grace of God. It's not easy. It is not by power. It is by the Spirit of God, because taking care of the children, taking care of the church, and being somebody who sings,
yes,
it's not easy.
It can't be.
It takes God to help you. But the good thing, you can combine them without any problem. Because the Bible says, if you cannot take care of your home, you are not able to take care of your few children and lead them in the way they should live and teach them, you cannot teach the church.
Ah, I see. So they have to go hand in hand.
They have to. The way I treat my children is the way I can treat the church.
Yeah.
So this is a small church.
Yes. A mini church for you.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
What would you say are some of the challenges, Enesia, you've experienced as a woman trying to find her feet, trying to make enough money to feed her children, also sing and earn and be, I guess, a businesswoman in a way as well?
Yes.
What have you found as some of the challenges women like you face in Malawi? What has been the hardest thing as a woman?
There are several things that I can say. Number one, in Malawi, there is this mentality that our men, they think women, we are too weak. You know, we are easily taken.
Yes.
That right now I can say there are some men, they don't even allow their women to be exposed.
Yes. Or even to work in some cases.
Because they just think if she goes there, any man can take her. That's what.
That's it. Yeah, that's a misconception.
I tell you, that one, it's a big challenge. As a pastor, I've experienced it so much.
Really?
Yes, you know.
As in directly yourself?
Yes. It's so much.
How did you handle it where someone is trying to sort of hold you back and pull you back? How do you, for the ladies listening at home, how does one deal with that?
I think the best way is not like the first time I was thinking if I would be angry.
Yeah.
Then I will just do it.
It doesn't help.
It doesn't solve. You just need to express yourself.
Right.
I always tell women that you need to know yourself and be strong, confidence of who you are. And what do you want to do? Explain it to your husband, to anyone who should understand. This is what I want to do because of this. I don't want to be seated. Explain it until your husband understands. I thank God for my husband because the moment I explain to him, you know, I'm a pastor.
Yeah.
Number one, and number two, I'm a musician. Sometimes you see people taking pictures.
Yes.
With me, it's not because
and it might be men. Yes.
There's nothing. Even they hug me.
Yes.
There's nothing. You just need to know that I'm a fan.
Yes.
To them, I'm something.
They're your fans.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. They are my fans. Yes. But to them, when they look at me, they have something in them, and they just feel, wow, this is the woman. You know. So it just takes a woman to be confident and express yourself to her husband, to everyone who needs to understand you, and be somebody who is punctual. Don't mix things. Don't lie. Speak the truth.
Be
every
honest.
time. Be honest to your husband. Let them know what is happening. The moment they trust you, everything will be okay. Yeah. So this is what I can tell to my fellow women.
Now, you obviously have an exciting job. You sing. I imagine it allows you to travel. It must be very exciting. What have been the highlights of your career? What would you say are your best moments as a musician, as a gospel artist? I think the time we had our shows at French Culture, that was a high time for me. I was enjoying the shows so much because the people were coming there
there were people who liked the music, and we could see grown-up people, families coming to listen to the music, and they could sing together with us, and they could just love the music. That was the time I can say I really enjoyed. Yes.
So those were some of your best moments.
Yes, that's it.
And when you look back now, do you have any regrets of anything that happened in your past? When you think about where you are today, are you content with where you are today, or do you have any regrets?
I have regrets because I always feel I was intended to continue with my school to go far.
Yeah.
Because mentally, I was born so sharp, but I could not go far with my
because
school.
of your circumstances.
So I always regret on that, because that's what I always tell my children. I want you to go beyond where I stopped. And thank God they're doing it. I thank God for that.
Yes.
Yes, so, and
are you in touch with your Zimbabwean roots? Do you go back home?
Yes. Yes, my mother's home. That's my mother's home.
Yeah.
Yes. We are so much in touch. Yeah.
What kind of influence have you picked up from Zimbabwe, do you think, as in terms of who you are?
My mother. You know, Zimbabwean women, I don't know if you understand the Zimbabwean woman.
Tell me about them.
Oh, hard workers.
Really?
My God. A Zimbabwean woman, even the floor, when she mops
she
the
cleans
floor,
it. It's
she wants her face to be seen.
So she wants the floor to turn into a mirror. I love that.
So my mother is, because you know, there were most of the women, like my mother was from the village, and was working for a white British. You know, British people.
Wow.
They are clean.
Yes.
Yeah, they are very clean.
Yes.
So that's how my mother is. So we have learned a lot from her. Like if you see all the children, we are not able to stay like this.
Yes, you're all hard workers.
We have to do something.
Enterprising,
every time.
Brilliant.
That's how we are.
Right, Enesia, it's been fantastic. I must admit, I've thoroughly enjoyed talking to you. But I cannot let you go without you giving me a note. So I want you to sing just a few seconds of your favorite song that you grew up singing, the song that made you decide that this is what you want to do, you want to sing. Your Brenda Fassie, The Lord is My Shepherd. So if you can sing that for me. And I'll join you. I'll jump in if I can. I know I can't sing, but I'll try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the song. There are two of them.
Yes.
But I'll sing that one.
Yeah. Or you can sing the other one as well if you have. We have a little bit of time, but you can. So you're looking at that camera. So we've just got about a minute for you to do that.
Yeah. The first one is, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Hallelujah, amen. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I think for today I remember that.
Yay! High five!
Yes. And number 2 is she sang, soon and very soon we are going to see the King. Soon and very soon we are going to see the King. Soon and very soon, soon and very soon we are going to see the King. Hallelujah, hallelujah, we are going to see the King.
Yay! Awesome stuff.
Amen.
Such a pleasure having amen indeed. Such a pleasure having you in the studios. Enesia Chitheka Louis. Such a pleasure. I called you your daughter's name. We're going to have to leave it there. We've had so much fun. That's where we're going to have to leave this week's edition of Women in the Fore. A big thank you to Enesia Chitheka Louis for joining us and sharing her story right here on Times TV. Until next week, from me, Wezi Kasambala, it's goodbye.